And we're going. Welcome back to another episode of Some Guy and John.
We have no John.
We have no John, but we have Adam and Steven here at the Imperial once again.
Yeah.
We work out a sponsorship deal. And tonight we're doing GhostBusters 2016.
Woo! Yeah. I think that's what people are calling it, GhostBusters 2016 , because people refuse to just call it GhostBusters.
Yeah,
because
it's
the original. God damn it, the original. Yeah.
I'll start by saying we all heard about all the bullshit around this movie, and we're above it all because we don't care.
It was nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be, but it was nowhere near as good as anybody else said it was. It was, it was the definition of A-OK. It was just fine.
I sort of felt it was a bit below average-ish. I mean, like, I chuckled somewhat consistently, and I got like maybe 2 or 3 good, genuine laughs.
Hey, what's up,
man? But yeah, that's.
See, I'll say something. Jim, one of the guys at the comic shop, pointed out that I noticed myself too. Somebody was laughing at every point throughout the movie, just in different parts of the theater.
Yeah.
There was no everybody laughed or everybody cheered moment. There was some people thought that was funny. Some people thought that was funny.
Yeah, and like
some people thought that was funny.
The people, and it's like the people who recognize the cameos, the people.
Yeah, some people cheered for the cameos. Some of us got disappointed for the cameos.
Yeah.
But it was like, and I have a new crush. On the Egon chick. The one that was building all this stuff.
Kate McKinnon, I told you, she is fucking amazing. Yeah,
she was great.
All right.
You need to wait in line because I already have a hardcore crush on Kate McKinnon. Have for a long time. She is super fucking talented, and she stole the fucking show in this. She was hands down the best.
I beg to differ.
I won't go that far.
I don't think I felt she was debatably one of the worst things about the movie. Yeah, I actually thought.
I can't agree with that, but I can't agree with she was kind of on the side.
I was thinking about it, and so have you guys seen Cowboy Bebop?
Of course.
No.
So she is essentially Radical Edward. She's Ed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
who does Cowboy Bebop?
The crazy, silly character who makes a lot of funny, crazy comments.
She's essentially the Kate McKinnon character, but like a little girl, even more insane, like into gadgets and like.
On Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, on Cowboy Bebop.
Okay.
And it's like...
But she...
all right.
That's an unfair comparison. This was very grounded, real-world character.
Well, I mean,
And if you want to talk about, like the problems and the characters, like, at least, like, with, Kate McKinnon and with, I don't want to call her the black one. I want to remember what her name was.
She's Jive-Ass Ghostbusters.
Leslie Jones. Those were well-developed characters. The two main ones, that's where the real problem was. Like Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, they're very talented. But they were fucking wasted in this. They did not have a script that was developed well.
I mean,
they had no character. They were just both basically
they were
the same character.
They were a smart person who used to be friends, and one explored what they used to, and one denied it all, but knew it was true.
Where did the fallout come from? We had nothing. It's like they used to be friends, and now they're not.
Yeah, the fallout in the movie was over her putting the book out, but they never explained why they split as friends.
I mean, sort of like I have a bit more to say about the Edward character, but on that subject, I got Kristen Wiig's character. I got what made her tick.
Yeah.
She was like a fine, mediocre, but quite serviceable main character.
Yeah.
I can like barely say a thing about Melissa McCarthy's character. She had she had that like that intern or whatever who took forever to get the
Well, he wasn't.
wonton
No, he
suit.
worked at.
Yeah.
That was a good running
It
joke.
was,
One of the better
that
ones.
was-
good run. It was a good running
That was
joke.
a funny
Yeah.
bit, but that doesn't give her a character.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
a funny
yeah,
thing
I
for
cannot-
her to do.
I mean, like,
and
yeah,
the
I-
proton pack bit, when she put on the proton pack,
was fucking
and was flying
hilarious
around,
and
it was
fun.
really funny.
It was really
that was a
funny,
funny
yeah.
bit. That's
Yeah.
when you let
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy be Melissa McCarthy. You
Yeah,
have
that was
something
great. That
funny.
was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like those moments were great, but like that wasn't within her character. Her character was so not like anything Melissa McCarthy does. It was she was doing what Kristen Wiig does. She was doing the kind of the brainy, quiet, mousy one. But already have a brainy, quiet, mousy one.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to have two characters that are basically the same fucking person?
Yeah.
It's like they
Well, there
tried
was a-
so much
I think
to make.
they were
They
supposed to
tried
be-
so
were
much
supposed
to
to
be
be
different
different.
from. They tried so much to be different that they completely missed what made them special. What
They
it
were
was
supposed to
that
be
how they
different
complement
because
each other's
both
characters.
they were supposed to be different because they both believed the same thing. One was denying it, one was embracing it, and that's where the difference in their characters
Well,
was.
I mean,
But
yeah.
But there
5 minutes in,
there
Kristen
wasn't any
Wiig was
more-
fully on board.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything
5
beyond that.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, and I mean, like it did. Yeah, it really tried to play the whole thing, this whole dynamic of like, oh, I don't want to be part of the group. Fine, we don't want you.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's like,
Oh, just come with us and check this thing out.
Yeah. It is.
That
It-
conflict
it is
was
a- it is a-
completely dropped.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's like on paper that sort of there is a lot of comic gold, as it were, with the whole thing like, I don't want to be a part of your group. Well, we didn't want you anyway. Well, God damn it, fine. I'll come
Yeah,
along.
yeah.
I'll come
Yeah,
along
yeah,
with
yeah.
you. And
Well,
I mean,
here's a
it's
fart
like-
noise.
Yeah,
How about
it's,
that?
Yeah. It's like
You guys, can we
it's
talk
like
about the
it's like
fart
they-
joke in this movie? There was a fart joke in this movie.
Yeah,
and it was a
wasn't
big joke.
It wasn't a good
It was
one.
kind of actually like relevant to the plot too, because
And
it was
the
like
movie-
they were
yeah.
setting.
Also-
well, no,
yeah.
because they were setting it up as we actually have proof of ghosts, but like they were people who were telling Kristen Wiig there actually are ghosts. So then they give her the fart sound. That makes no sense. If they were making fun of somebody who thought they believed in ghosts, and then they said, "Oh, here's a recording of a ghost, and here's a fart sound,"
Yeah.
that would be that would be
Yeah.
at least it would be a joke that would make sense. This made no fucking sense. Why would they record that? Why would they just have that lying around?
On deck, ready to go. Anything. We're gonna do a fart joke. It
Also-
would have been better if they used a whoopee cushion.
Yes,
If there was like
yeah.
a whoopee cushion under the floorboard, and when you stepped on it, it made the noise. Because the joke itself was funny enough, because she's like, I can't believe you leaned in, because nobody ever goes
I mean,
this
like,
far.
Yeah.
That was the joke right there, but then they added the fart noise and just blew it out of the water.
and just
yeah.
like jumping off this scene, I mean, I might be misremembering it, but the way I recalled it, that fart joke, it had potential,
Yeah.
but I think
absolutely.
it wasn't properly built up. There needed and just like jumping off that. Let me just say the edit. I mean,
The editing was
yeah,
really bad.
I've never seen any other
Oh,
Paul
God,
Feig
yeah.
movies, but I'm just watching this like, oh my gosh, did you get like a freshman year film student to edit this?
Yeah.
Because it's like
He's not a great visual director. He's
Yeah,
never
it's-
done
it's-
anything that visually
like
amazing.
it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
like
a bad
it's not.
choice to direct. It was just
It's not even. It's not even like if he had like no sense of visual flair, and I mean like I sort of would have forgiven him because like he doesn't have a great sense of visual flair, but like I just rewatched this movie called A Fish Called Wanda, which like yeah.
Oh, that's just mean. You can't compare the two.
Well,
You can't
I mean,
compare
like
them,
there's nothing. There's
One
nothing
has
too much
Kevin
flat-
Kline,
there
the
mu-
other one
well,
doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the direction. There is nothing fancy and nothing clever done about.
It's all story.
Yeah.
About the imagery and the
Yeah.
direction of that movie, but just the director knew right exactly when to cut. That he didn't draw attention to himself.
Well,
And,
that's the editor following the
yeah,
director's
and
notes.
it's like
but yeah,
and it's like it was actually a scene that we saw in the trailer where Kristen Wiig is looking around and then Kelly McKenna mugs, and it's like is like mugging, like doing the face, and Kristen Wiig's like, oh my gosh, that was scary, but it's like the camera is panning over and it plays the stinger like dun 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 music, a moment before.
Yeah,
it's like,
too soon.
Yeah,
Too
too
soon.
soon. Like the moment we start to see
The music becomes the stinger, not what you're actually watching. And
yeah.
you're like,
And I mean that.
"What?"
I mean, like I'm a theater major that listens to some movie podcasts.
Yeah.
And just like comment that's a terrible amateurish mistake.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And I mean, like, also,
If anything, you want to have it come in too late.
yeah.
You want to have it come in too late to back up what you're seeing, not too soon to throw off. Yeah.
And also the improvisation. It was not.
It was completely hit and miss.
Yeah, and I mean,
either it was
Yeah.
it was either funny, okay, or completely missed, and more on the okay and missing.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
let's talk about like the potential of the cast in the movie. This movie has an amazing cast.
Yeah,
and
they're all excellent.
I recognize like at least maybe like 90% of the people there. It is filled with great alternative comedy people, great people from the UCB theater. Neil Casey, who is the villain, is just really funny. We'll get to him like later, but like, he's a really funny, talented guy. There are a lot of really funny, talented people in this.
This cast is on par with the original cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're on par with the original cast for just the funny. Like Kristen Wiig, hilarious. She's great. Karen McKenna?
Kate McKenna, yeah.
Kate McKenna, fucking fantastic. Melissa McCarthy, great. Leslie Jones, Santa comedian, kicks fucking ass.
All the side characters, fucking great.
All the side characters are really great. Chris Hemsworth, fucking fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, he was. I think he was definitely the most consistently funny.
Well, because he was the complete idiot.
Yeah,
I mean,
like times. There were
basically.
times it was a little too over the top. I mean, when he says, "Oh God, that's too loud," and he covers his eyes,
for me. That was genuinely both moronically fucking stupid and hilarious because it completely reminded me of Zoolander.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think reminded me.
I think that whole like covering his eyes that was a bit too far.
It's
but
really loud. It's really loud.
It reminded me of this quote I heard about like stupid comedies. That stupid the stupidity. The character is stupid, but the stupidity has to be
smart.
It has to be smart, and a lot of his stupid jokes. It's like really smart. It's clever, just like this backwards, incorrect way he views the world. Like, this is me playing the saxophone, and this is me listening to the saxophone. He's literally putting his ear.
That was a great
saxophone.
Stupid joke. It made absolutely no sense,
but yet perfect sense.
It
made sense in his moronic.
Yeah.
Well, he had that.
I mean, that character was great. And
that character was great.
And the joke with because I don't even want to reveal it, but the joke regarding his glasses.
Oh yeah, I took out the lenses. That was funny too because he was so dumb that he's like.
And that was improvised. Like,
that was improvised. You know it was improvised because it was so kind of dumb. And I just took out the lenses because it got in the way. So
his character came from character came from I can't forget his name, but Thor. That came from his like improvisations of him playing just this dumb model guy. Like, he wasn't supposed to be that fucking stupid. It just came from Chris Hemsworth, just kind of dicking around, and that's where like the improv worked. Like, I thought. Well, that's the thing, because like this cast, like the people, they were all improv people. It was filled with improv, like Katie Apol, like the co-screenwriter, all those people.
I don't know.
They were improv people, and that
Is
works.
Chris Hemsworth improv?
Well, no, he's not.
I don't think Chris Hemsworth.
He's not improv.
I think. If I had to guess,
the majority of the people in this movie are improv people. And you can tell, like, the way it's done, like with the line-o-rama, that they just kind of like let the camera run. In some cases it works, and in some cases it just goes on way too long.
He's a good actor. That's why he can. Like he can.
All his stuff was great. I think. I'm just talking about the movie overall. His stuff was great.
But it was. I mean, like, maybe they improv various different deliveries of the jokes, but I think more or less most of the stuff they gave him was scripted.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Yeah. Well.
It's like
what we're coming into is, I think the script was purposely open to improv. Yeah. So it was like, this is what's supposed to happen. This is the script. you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. Let's film a few takes and go with the best one, and we're going to improv it all.
Aside from
no specific lines, just what's supposed to happen. I guess that's like kind of can be a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. And in this movie, it leans a little towards mediocre.
Yeah.
Not actually bad, just mediocre.
Aside,
like I said, somebody was always laughing while we were watching this
absolutely.
movie. Yeah.
Like aside from like Paul Feig, like the writers of this movie were all like people who you can go and see do improv right fucking now. Like they were just they're great at what they do. Like Kate Diepold is fucking amazing. If you ever, guys, anybody listening, if you're ever in New York, go see the UCB Theater, see the group. Fuck that shit. That is the greatest comedy fucking improv troupe out there. She is amazing. There's a lot of amazing people out there. Like,
and also, listeners, take note. We don't care who's a guy and who's a girl. We're talking about performance, period.
Okay, that being said, we're all huge misogynists, and the fact that there are women Ghostbusters just pisses us off so much.
No, it doesn't. I don't care. And when we come to the rewrite, it's genius and it fits inside of the whole agenda Sony set up with this thing that we can do to rewrite this to be on par with the original.
For my money, as far as like gender reversing, I tend to think that in stories where sex is involved, gender reversing can be a very interesting thing. Be a very interesting thing, and then like Ghostbusters as a story. I mean, there is this element like in the original Bill Murray, Bill Murray's Bill Murray's well,
so
what I'm
he
saying,
can flirt with a woman.
Bill Murray's girlfriend is being possessed, but like for the most part, sex doesn't play much
if they're men or women. As
so I mean, like it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't give much. Make much of a change.
It doesn't
add or detract.
It doesn't add or detract from the dynamic because they're people doing a job and this is their job.
Yeah.
In the bigger cultural sphere, I have no problem with them all being women.
Yeah.
Because I have no problem with if you're gonna say completely like for a message movie, I have no problem sending out a message that a girl can be kick ass at something.
Stuff.
I'm totally into that. I have no problem with that. I would prefer a girl that if I got in a fight, I wouldn't have to fight and protect her at the same time because she can fend for herself. That's not a problem. When you turn around and label everybody who says they don't like what people are doing with the movie and you assign them that reason
as being sexist, that was bullshit.
People had a problem with the movie because you weren't making it a sequel. You were piggybacking off the name.
That's the thing people are gonna remember. That's the thing people are gonna remember this movie though, because the movie itself was good. It was okay. It wasn't great, but the marketing of this movie was fucking atrocious. It was terrible. They actually said like, if you don't like this movie, you're sexist. If you don't like this movie, you're a Trump supporter.
I mean,
I said at one point.
I don't think it's true, but I almost have a feeling it's like in Sony there's one idiot and one genius person involved in the whole marketing thing.
And they both have a say, but the idiot's thing to do is easier.
My story is that the idiot was the person who cut the trailers for it. And then the genius person kind of looked at it and said, "Okay, this is a beloved property," and saw the movie as like, "Okay, this is at best a mediocre project." And me personally, I would probably, it's kind of more of a subpar product, but like mediocre, less than good. Like it wasn't great. And so the genius at Sony said, "Oh wait, let the idiot do his thing because we have to bank on social justice warriors making this a big thing because I genuinely like looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, like 73%
Yeah.
I genuinely think there was a good patch of critics that had there not been this misogynist backlash against it, they would have leaned more on the
mediocre,
the mediocre, and like giving it 2 stars rather than 3.
Let's get back on target and skip over all the bullshit around the movie and just talk more about the movie. And we're still in the non-spoilers part.
All right,
so.
yeah. And
and if we let me just all this the feminist stuff, I thought was great. I thought we had some really great, well written out characters. I mean, you get it, guys. This was Sony. Sony makes terrible movies. This could have been Adam Sandler and Kevin James as Ghostbusters very easily.
They made it. It's called Pixels.
Yeah. I didn't see any overtly feminist things other than them all being women.
But yeah,
they made an occasional joke about. Like look at the YouTube comments.
Yeah, I
but
did.
That's not.
I saw
a
feminist. Couple reviewers who were talking about it that made it to points they noticed. Every guy in the movie is either really stupid or an asshole. I don't think that's really a problem. I think it works well with the story. I mean, in the original, every guy in the movie story who wasn't one of the Ghostbusters was either fucking really stupid or an asshole.
Not Sigourney Weaver.
No, she wasn't a guy. In the original, every guy who wasn't one of the Ghostbusters was stupid or an asshole.
Well, there's Sigourney Weaver and the secretary, and was there any other female characters?
Not a lot of
female. I didn't see. That's what I say. When I didn't see anything overtly, I just thought they were different characters.
Yeah.
And I
all the feminist stuff.
Stand back and watch the movie.
Yeah, I think I liked all the feminist stuff. And
I see what you're saying.
I can appreciate what they were doing with that.
I see what you're saying, but I don't know if people seeing that is influenced by all the bullshit around the movie, or if that's what they actually are.
Well, you were there. There were little girls in the movie theater dressed up with the little proton packs.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
And that was awesome.
That's fucking awesome.
It's great. And I like that there are female heroes. I mean, this happens so often that yes, there are strong, intelligent women who are kick-ass in movies, but they usually are wearing skin tight outfits. They're hot as hell. There's a lot of cleavage. Yeah, and I like that there are just some that are just ordinary people.
Do you know
they're not just women, they're fucking people.
Do you know how hard it is to find an image of a female superhero?
Oh, God, yeah.
That's fully clothed from head to toe?
So fucking impossible.
It's all day long I load up my phone with pictures of superheroes. Yeah. Most of them are men. Because, Spider-Man, I have Spider-Gwen now, who's the same thing, from head to toe, but, most of the time, I like Wonder Woman, she's cool as fuck, but I'm I don't have a problem with you not wearing anything.
Why would you wear that? That is incredibly impractical, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, and it's every time I come across one, and I don't, it's to the point where I don't even care if the picture's not all that good, if she's clothed from head to toe, that's cool, because... that's a reflection of her counterparts.
Yeah.
Let's go with we're completely off target and it doesn't matter.
Stay on target.
Let's go with
Stay on target.
Let's go with the 3 top superheroes and we'll add Deadpool as the 4th.
Okay.
Spider-Man, head to toe. Head to toe. Can't even see his face. Covered. Batman. All you see is his chin and his eyes.
Just his mouth.
Completely
That's
covered.
His mouth, nothing else.
Superman, hands and head. That's it. And then Spider-Man, head to toe. Now
you forgot Howard the Duck.
He's not in my top 4. Okay.
You forgot Howard the Duck.
Okay, Howard the Duck even. All you see is hands and head. Everything else is covered.
He has no pants.
He doesn't realize I'm fucking with him.
And his feet. Okay. So let's go with the top, and luckily enough, one of my favorites, Rogue. Head to toe, all you see is the head because she physically can't touch people.
That's it.
But that's how it translates. Wonder Woman. We're in a one piece.
Yeah.
Okay. Raven from the Teen Titans. I think she has on tights, but I think she's wearing a one piece and a cloak and a cape.
She's pretty well covered up.
But it's
if that cloak is a blowing, she's got some leg showing.
Yeah.
Up top. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you just listening, I just got a high five from Stephen Omspoke.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
For the Teen Titans. Good job. Okay.
All right.
Back to Target. Back to the movie that we're talking about.
Go ahead, sir.
Like Steven said, it didn't matter if they were women or men in the movie. The problem was with the story and the script and the bit of convenience.
Character development.
There was no character development. They leaned and pulled too much from the original two movies instead of just doing their own thing, and they didn't do it properly.
Yeah.
So you had this could be a really good movie. I have a feeling our three movies that we're going to write at the end are going to be the movie that you wanted to see.
Yeah.
But this movie basically this movie for me turned into, we made another Ghostbusters movie because the original was so good and we're keeping the property alive. Basically, let's make money off an old property.
Exactly.
And as a fan, it's like, okay, they made another movie. We can keep going from here if it makes enough money, which it probably will, which is just fine.
Sony wants a franchise. They want their own Marvel universe.
And they have the potential because they did it in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's the secret thing most reviewers are overlooking. And we need to save that for the spoilers and the rewrites. But it's a beautiful thing that's in the movie itself, and I like that when movies are shit, but inside the movie, the rewrites and the future sequels can build on that and make it what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. And also like kind of if it's all right with you, I want to jump back to the whole topic of Kate McKenna.
Okay.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. So what I was saying about
she was awesome. Kate McKenna was amazing.
The Ed character in Cowboy Bebop, I really like the idea of this girl that's kind of crazy, not really in the real world, and obsessed with machines.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the idea, and
sort of like the manic pixie dream girl, but really, really awesome at technical stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I see what
you're saying.
When I watched Cowboy Bebop, I'm like, I remember thinking, I'm not quite as much into Ed as I thought I would be.
Yeah,
I think it's the character. It is almost like kind of the character's lack of It's like sort of a lack of humanity. Like, and then there is sort of this.
Are you saying that it's a great character, but it doesn't fit with the other characters?
I mean, I think it's a great character, but it can be kind of sort of hard to connect to.
Okay,
I think that's part of it.
Yeah,
and
she was kind of always doing her own thing and saying, "Here's what I got." Here's what I got. Yeah,
that's true of Ed. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't agree with that with Kate McKinnon. I thought Kate McKinnon.
I liked Ed, but I didn't quite fall in love with her the way I kind of thought I would. And with Kate McKenna, I did not see a human being. I saw an actress making. I pretty much just saw an actress mugging. I'm gonna make these weird.
Oh, that's totally true.
I'm going to make these weird faces, and I think like I think like maybe
that's
it's like,
totally true.
Yeah,
I think
and
the main reason I liked her so much is because she was the only one doing that. Like, I think if all the Ghostbusters did that a little bit within their own characters, that would be great. But because Kristen Wiig refused to do that, because Melissa McCarthy refused to do that, they just had to be just the completely straight-laced, boring characters. It just kind of fell on Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones to really pick up the comedy slack.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what was the problem. You know what I realized? Was thinking about this. There was no Bill Murray character.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no
there was
sarcastic,
detached,
cynical character.
It's just like no gives no fucks in the world kind of character.
The only one that was kind of like that was the Kristen Wiig character.
But then like if
was
you,
completely
Then again, like, so playing devil's advocate, do you think what if they got someone like, all right, you're Bill Murray, you're not going to give any fucks? Would they? how well would that play, or could it just be like, oh
I
wow,
mean,
you're just being a lame, this is
obviously,
like
yeah.
Bill Murray light.
I mean, yeah, like obviously, like just making them those characters, but as women would be boring. But that being said, there are like archetypes. There are certain types of characters we need to see within these movies. There needs to be the leader. There needs to be the shapeshifter. Then like we need to go into like the basics of. God damn it! Somebody help me out here.
The original ones from the Ghostbusters. So, needs to not give a fuck, but is smart.
Yeah.
Obsessed with machines. Obsessed with science.
Yes.
The practical, real world one.
Yes, thank you.
Those are 4 characters in the original Ghostbusters.
And that was kind of the problem with this one. We didn't really have those. It was a little too mismatched. And there were some qualities with this guy, some qualities with this
Melissa
one.
McCarthy and Kristen Wiig were
the same character.
Yeah. So you lost that. So you had the Egon.
Yeah.
Who
was also the huge comic relief.
Well, you had the.
I mean, Egon was funny. Yeah. But like he was funny because he was so fucking straight. Because he was such a geek. That's where his humor came from. Kate McKinnon was a fucking. I mean, yeah, she is and always will be a punk rock alien from Mars.
Yeah,
yeah. And I mean, what I was thinking is that it's like she for the large part she kind of has this sort of swarmy kind of like weird, vaguely sexual sort of smile for the most part throughout it. I think what might have improved her character for me is that if I really saw sort of an extra level of glee to our character, we're like, oh my gosh,
like,
I
check
have
this out, like check this out.
Oh my god, you gotta see, and it's like
she was kind of like, here's my stuff.
Yeah. No, it's like it's more like
she wasn't.
It wasn't really like here's my stuff. It was like,
yeah.
Hey, here's my stuff.
Yeah, she was too cool. If she was more nerdier, if she was more of a huge geek, that would have worked so much better for her.
Yeah, they tried, but they put it in the trailer.
Yeah.
She had the wig. She's like, is the wig too much? It's like,
yeah.
Okay, you're trying.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, was that not in the movie?
No, it was in the movie.
Yeah,
it was the first ghost in the movie.
No, but I mean the line of the wig, is it too much?
No, that was in the movie.
I thought, yeah.
But it was in the trailer. That was the problem because that was pretty much all of her character development. Yeah. It was that one thing. It was like, she can try to kind of fit in, and that's it. She didn't at any other point do that slightly social thing, you know?
Hey, she's doing the joke from Young Frankenstein. Hey guys, remember Young Frankenstein? Remember how funny it was?
Yeah.
Remember that one really, really funny joke? Well, we have it in this movie too, and it's exactly the same.
So are we done with the non-spoiler part?
Yeah,
I think so.
Do you want to give the final verdict on the movie, or save that for the end of the spoilers?
You wanted like a spoiler-free final verdict?
Yeah, spoiler-free. I'd say it's a fun movie, but it is flawed.
It is a solid rental. It is absolutely a good stay at home, Netflix, smoke a joint, watch a movie. It's fine with that. And what I'm saying is, it's way better with weed. Get stoned before you see this.
It's kind of just a movie.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
What do you think, Steven?
The way I describe it is that if some friends of yours wanted to see it, or you wanted to see it for do a podcast, it wouldn't be a waste of time.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'd say
around.
skip it.
It's in a weird it's in a weird kind of place, because it's not one of these like so bad it's amazing. It's like so bad. It's great, but it's not just pure awesome amazing art either.
Yeah,
it's this weird
it
negative.
basically falls into
it's in a negative zone.
It's just a movie to make money off a name.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's mildly fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's the end of part 1. Stay tuned for. Alright, and we're back for part 2. Spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, it's gonna get ruined for you.
There's not that much to ruin,
Yeah,
honestly. there's the bad guy creates some evil whatever. There's some possession, which he possesses Chris Hemsworth.
So who wants to take us through the movie?
Yeah, can we talk about
as best
the...
they can. Well, start to finish, who could take us through the whole movie?
Okay.
Just the easiest way possible.
All right, I'll
short synopsis.
all right, so
Well, yeah, let's just do it together. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just do it together.
So Kristen Wiig is a scientist trying to take herself seriously, but she is quite taken aback when she finds out that her former ghost researcher partner has published a book they made about ghosts. So
she's trying to get tenure.
She's trying to get tenure, and then so she goes to a haunted house, a literally haunted house, and she sees a ghost, and then she has a YouTube video where she delightfully proclaims ghosts are real, which gets her kicked out of tenure. So then she creates her own ghost-busting business with her old partner.
Old partner from the book and her old partner's new intern who's a badass.
Yeah, and then...
Even though they were enemies when they first met, somehow they just instantly decided they were going to start a business together.
And then
maybe
like...
both their moms are named Martha.
And then... Your mom's named Martha? Why not mom's named Martha? Did we just become friends? I think we just became friends.
No, but okay.
And then along comes Leslie Jones, who's their first customer. And then
she is the streetwise one.
Yeah. She's the streetwise one who says, I want a job because I saw a ghost and I know New York and I can help you.
It's like...
Well, I mean...
Yeah, it's like she...
Let's be fair.
She just exposits... It's like she knows... She's
the cultural expert
of New York.
Her character was way more developed than Ernie Hudson was.
Why wasn't...
I mean,
it's like one thing that bothered me.
Yeah,
why wasn't she a tour
developed.
guide? She should have been a.
Yeah, but that doesn't really take anything away from the movie. That
not.
She has a lot of knowledge.
And then
they
hire.
Yeah, obviously
they bring her on,
she's way smarter than the job in life that she got. Yeah, obviously she's blue collar, didn't go to college, ended up with this job. But clearly she has a lot of fucking intelligence that goes beyond college. And I like that. I like that they have the extremely intelligent blue-collar person who still like brings... Who has the value and brings...
practical knowledge that helps the team.
And has something that the other people in the group don't have.
She joins the team.
Yes.
Okay, it's my turn. So she joins the team. And then they're also hiring their... dumbass male assistant who is obviously a male model who needs some side money because he's dumb as all fuck. Yeah. And let's just take a step back and say he's dumb as all fuck because he's a model. Doesn't matter if he's male or female because it actually doesn't matter.
No.
Christian Wiig is infinitely infatuated with him.
Because it's like I get the feeling it's almost like Paul Feig's like, all right, Christian Wiig, what? You are in love with Chris Hemsworth because reasons. Improv about it. And she's like, go. And she's just like...
that was a problem. I mean, he's super handsome, but she's not going to make an asshole out of herself.
They go and investigate Leslie Jones' ghost sighting. And another ghost comes up and they try to capture it. Or they realize that they can capture it because they realize it falls into the scientific. Just like the original Ghostbusters when they investigated their first ghost. So then they get called out. They get called out on their mirror image of the first call from the first Ghostbusters movie. They go to this place, but instead of a hanky swanky hotel,
it's literally the same ghost.
It's the
same ghost with the same name.
It's a club, and they do something inventive where the ghost inhabits a mannequin. And then it turns into a ghost, and then they capture the ghost.
And I mean, they also let me just state that one detail I kind of forgot about is that sort of jumping off the bad comedy directing, there's a funny idea that it's like the heavy metal concert, and
it brings out a demon.
And along comes a demon. And then but it didn't have it. It was directed kind of clumsily. Like, it didn't have the moment where it's like they needed a moment where like the audience is like, really just go like, woo, ghost, yeah, and the musician, it's like one musician just being confused, and then a shot of like another musician like wait, there's a ghost. Fuck it, let's go with it. Let's go with it.
Can we talk about?
No.
Can we
Back
talk
to Target.
about?
We're doing the recap of the movie. Before
yeah, we're talking
break
about
it all down,
the recap, but
we're not breaking anything down.
All right.
I'm sorry, Adam. We got to get through the recap of the movie.
It was a dumb-looking ghost in that scene.
Okay.
It was a cartoon dragon. It was Pete's dragon.
And
it was
this
dumb.
is the good and bad part. So the ghost in the trailer that you saw on Leslie Jones' back, the black chick's back, that's where we're at now. They capture that ghost. Then we get our first cameo, our first real cameo. Bill Murray plays a skeptic that gets killed by that ghost.
Yeah. No good jokes for
no good jokes in there. No nothing.
Yeah. It's like, hey, it's Bill Murray. He's a skeptic.
Then they meet with the mayor, and the mayor's like, yeah, we know all about this, but you can't tell people about this, so we're going to discredit you publicly, but we're going to back you up privately. Then they go on their ghostbusting thing. They go on their rounds. They go do the whole Ghostbuster thing. Meanwhile, they realize that their enemy, who's been given away like at the end of the first act, who straight up says, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
They encounter his inventions more often, and for some reason he's using their book to build his inventions out of nowhere.
He has a machine that makes the apparitions visible.
No, he has this is what I'm talking about, because we're now in spoilers, and this will come heavily into my rewrite. He has a machine that breaks down the walls between dimensions that allows the ghosts to come through. So the movie straight up says there's other dimensions, and we'll explore that in the rewrites. I kind of don't remember some of the middle, because then we have Kate McKinnon coming in with her inventions, and she all of a sudden ramps up because they couldn't get the original Ghostbusters place. They got a Chinese place across the street with the best running joke I've seen in the movie for a while.
But
with
that
her not
was
getting her
a
food.
great line. We have to say, like, when they tried to get the original.
No, that was go to hell. That was so great.
How much is it? It's $23,000 a month. Go to hell.
Go to hell. That was good.
Fucking
that was
great.
Good.
That was
good.
amazing.
That was good.
So they chased down. They chased down the main villain, who. But by the way, the whole backstory of the villain, he's a loser who was bullied.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
it. That's
his revenge.
Yeah, and he read their book, so now all of a sudden he knows how to create interdimensional portals.
Yeah, I mean, like, that didn't bother me. It's like I get that he read their books, and it's like I can buy into like he read their books. He was intelligent as well, and then brought his own ideas and built off.
Yeah, built off that he
built off their blood, sweat, and tears.
So they confront him because they're going to stop him from doing what he's doing, but he just kills himself, so they think everything's okay.
Yeah,
but him killing himself turns him into a ghost, which somehow, and this is directly in the movie, gives him the power of Gozer. Yeah. And he has the power to now possess people, and on top of that, control people. And he possesses Chris Hemsworth, the dumb intern, and he's all happy about it. And that was kind of cool because Chris Hemsworth was like, "I want to join you guys. Look, I got a suit and I got a motorcycle." And then he gets possessed, and
since when the spoiler territory, let's talk about there is no Gozer. It's one guy who read their book, who killed himself and started taking over people. That's it. There's no demon from another dimension. There's no Gozer.
There are other dimensions, though. That's
completely washed over, though. Yeah. They mentioned that once. There's this amazing scene. You see all these ghosts that behind like these glass paintings.
Yeah, which was really cool.
It was really cool.
But
and then you get the great shot of when they all break out.
Yeah.
And saw it.
But
that's it.
Yeah.
It's completely dropped. So fucking Thor can go, and Chris Hemsworth and have his fun little dance sequence.
His mini dance sequence in the movie that's fleshed out in the credits, which I did like because.
But it clearly was supposed to be in the movie.
But they couldn't make it work.
It's like he takes control of like the army and the agents there, and it's like the first. And Omar Little, he takes Omar Little for fans.
You know what they were trying to do? You know what they were trying to do? Remember the mask? Remember
yeah.
when he was
Yeah.
escaping?
Yeah,
Chick,
same.
ticket, boom, chick, ticket, boom, chick,
See,
ticket, boom.
what I will say is that is the only overtly feminist thing that I saw, because as far as I can tell, there were no men in that, and for some reason he couldn't control women, but he could control men.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they showed up, he shouldn't have been able to control them. The only thing that separated them was women. That didn't matter. So he kills himself. He takes over. He opens the portal.
But he took over Melissa McCarthy.
He took over Melissa McCarthy, possessed her. Then we had the scene.
And there
scene
were
in the
women
trailer.
in that scene, though. There were female cops.
He possessed Melissa McCarthy, but he couldn't control the other women. He could only control Melissa McCarthy. In that scene.
Okay.
That's why I say it's the only overtly feminist thing where like he could control Melissa McCarthy because he possessed her, but he couldn't control the other Ghostbusters.
I think you might be reading a bit too deep into that.
I might be. I have a tendency to overcomplicate, and I'm trying to get through it trying to get through this. And so, sum up as quickly as possible.
Keep going.
So then, like the mayor's office is okay. This is a real thing, and it's going down because he's opened the portal. Ghosts are pouring out, and they back him up. Then we have the dance sequence, the mini dance sequence where he does a couple moves, and all the men are frozen. So the Ghostbusters are trying to get to the place. Meanwhile, Kristen Wiig is separated because she went to go talk to the mayor, and she's just on her own.
And don't be the mayor from Jaws, which was a pretty funny line.
That was funny.
And the fact that he got so pissed off by that.
Don't you ever compare me to the mayor from Jaws. But back on
that
target,
being said,
she's
can
off.
we talk about the cats out of the bag line?
No.
And how that went on for fucking ever?
No, that's after we have to get through the synopsis.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
We have to have an actual
synopsis. My lips are sealed. Go ahead, sir.
Stay on target. So, we have one Ghostbuster who's separated from the others. They get their car, they come to a blockage, and Slimer, out of nowhere, literally Slimer shows up out of nowhere and steals their car, breaks the blockage. They come across a parade, and we get yet another of the umpteen references back to the thing where they have these like parade balloons, and one of them's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And Kate McKinnon has a great line where she's like, "I always envisioned this as my death, getting crushed by these." And,
great line.
Our separated Ghostbuster, out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, shows up, pops the balloon, frees them all, has all of her gear, mystically, magically, somehow, and then they get together and they go to the portal, and they have a face-off with a bunch of ghosts with their proton packs, and they're killing ghosts. And this is kind of like a breaking the reality of the movie, because as far as we all know, the proton packs hold the ghosts. They don't kill them. And how do you kill a ghost? And this is actual problems in the movie, but this is what we were watching. They kung fu magic the ghosts.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular because they don't do anything.
Yeah, they don't suck any of them into like the actual.
They don't do traps.
Yeah.
They just like hit them with they whip them around and they break them on each other. They throw them at each other.
And they punch them.
I will say, when Melissa McCarthy threw those ghosts at the other ghosts,
that was cool.
I needed a bowling sound effect. I needed a bowling sound effect because that's how kind of off the rails the movie went. Then they have like the final show. They have the quote unquote showdown with the ghosts, and they tell him.
And that was intentionally off the rails.
It was intentionally off the rails.
I mean,
he's like,
when the smoke comes out of nowhere, and that was part of the previews, and I can see why people got pissed off.
Yeah,
but in the moment of that, they're going for something seriously fucking over the top.
Yeah,
and I got what they're going for, and in that moment, that worked. That scene worked, I thought. It did. The badass, kick-ass mini fight scene before the final boss, that was cool. Yeah, I'll admit, I actually clapped. That was cool because my girl had her moment because she's like, "Oh yeah, I have these little guns," and she kicked ass, and I have a crush on her. I'm fucking biased. I don't care. That's cool as fuck.
Okay. I mean, some of the ideas.
Hold on. Can I just point out I had a crush on her before you had a crush on her?
No, it doesn't matter. That's fine. We both have a crush on her.
First.
You don't.
I saw her first.
You don't gain anything, and I don't lose anything by having a crush on her. Okay,
guys. Neither of you are going to have sex with her. So
I will. I am not being facetious at all when I say, eventually you will be mine, Kate McKinnon. Oh yes. You will be mine.
I mean, like, as
I
far-
don't need her to be mine. I want to get on with the recap of the movie
right.
so we can get into spoilers and all the problems.
Oh my
right.
God! Fucking go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have that cool flurry battle before the final boss battle, and this is where it kind of breaks down and it goes completely off the rails because they confront him and he says, "What do you want me to be?" We want you to be a little tiny simple thing. What are you doing? No, it's fine. It's picking us all up just fine.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's recording. We're all good. We're good. And she's like, I want you to be a cute little logo, like the logo. So he literally turns into our evil boss that has control over ghosts. Turns into the logo,
And the no symbol becomes
and
a bow tie.
The no symbol turns into a bow tie. And
Because
he gets really
when they
big.
were looking at him in his picture, they all made fun of the fact he was wearing a stupid bow tie.
Yeah, and then he gets bigger and bigger and huge and explodes out the building. And they say something about our car basically has a nuclear reactor on it, which is yet another callback to the original. That one's a little more organic. It's not forced. Feel free to jump in here anytime with recapping the movie. But
Slimer, jump in.
And then Slimer drives into the.
But he's not alone. He has Mrs. Slimer.
Slimer,
out of nowhere. He sold the car, but he happens to come.
Yeah.
This is like
And
the
so
this is like the breakdown. He just happens to drive back to exactly where they need him to drive back to.
This is when the movie gets off the rails.
They use the nuclear reactor in the car to create a reverse portal
That sucks
which
in
sucks
all the
everyone
ghosts,
in.
yeah.
And then the bad guy grabs Melissa McCarthy and Christian Wiig in like the "I'm not going to abandon you again."
Yeah,
jumps
into the portal.
into the portal.
Guys, we're overshooting.
That doesn't matter.
Jumps into the. She jumps in the portal.
It does, but it doesn't.
Portal
They
pulls
shoot him in
pulls
the
Melissa
balls.
McCarthy
We
out.
talked about how they shoot him in the
and then
balls.
so everything's hunky dory. The mayor tries to out-talk his way out, but he's clearly out of his depth. We have a credit scene with showing the dance scene that they clearly had shot, but then decided was stupid.
And I will have to say,
didn't want to waste it.
Scene,
And then
His
there was
dance-
there was a
his
stinger
dancing was-
involving Zool. The end.
His dancing was so awesome that it literally fucked up the credits.
And that-
As
that
Chris
was-
Hemsworth was dancing,
and that was
he would
actually
shake
cool.
his butt, and
That was actually
his
kinda
butt
cool.
shaking would move the fucking credits.
But I actually kind of like that because it never stopped. It wasn't like, oh, here's the outtakes, here's the stuff we didn't want to use, and then normal credits. The credits never went to normal. It was always interactive. It was always going on.
That part was cool.
And then they showed
but
all
then
of
they
Chris
go.
Hemsworth's pictures, which was hilarious too.
All right.
They just like for this movie. You don't have to sit through the credits to watch it to the end because the credits are still something worth actually watching.
That I gotta
They
admit,
still
I really
happen.
liked.
They still happen. It was
there
nice.
weren't. There never was just a black screen with credits rolling.
Yeah,
the whole
that
time
was cool.
there
That
was
was
something
nice, yeah.
to look at. There was that was engaging. It was
Basically,
amazing.
All I have to say about the spoilers is that it really does show what feels like the lack of pre-planning of the fact that you have this dance scene. It's like the dance scene was set up, but then there's no payoff. But then it shows the dance scene in over the credits.
Well,
that seemed weird. And the only other thing I have to say about in the spoiler territory is that the pre-fight the fight scene when they're like punching the ghost. A lot of the ideas were fun, but the directing was off.
It was rushed.
There wasn't. It's like if you're directing a fight scene, you need to create the sense of like, okay, where is everyone? Who is in danger? And so it's like here's a cool thing that we want to see our Ghostbuster do. Boom. Here's another thing where
there was no context.
Yeah, there wasn't any sense of momentum in that makes it
And then in the
makes a
very
fight scene.
last, and then in the very last scene, we see all the Ghostbusters sitting around together, and then one of them gets a phone call. I forget who it is, and they ask the question. Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
And she asked the question.
she's listening to
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
listening to
listen
the
to
original
audio.
tape from the joke,
That's right. Yeah.
which was a nice callback. But
And what did she say? You guys,
what's Zool?
who is Zool? Yeah, what's Zool?
Who's Zool? What's Zool?
And
yeah.
nobody recognizes the name, and that's the fucking part that pisses me
Yeah,
off.
somebody should have. Somebody should have. Like,
Somebody
Zool,
should have
yeah.
known who the fuck
Somebody
Zool
should have
is.
perked up a little. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, why the
I
fuck
mean,
are you Ghostbusters
Yeah.
if you don't know who the main fucking ghost is?
Yeah.
I mean, like, just I was sort of just indifferent to that. It was just like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah, well, because it was callback to the original, and you're like, she's like, who is Zool? And you're like, oh, that's really cool. Oh wait, it just ended. Somebody should have said something before that ended.
yeah, I guess
Somebody
it
should have
would.
whipped out a book. Somebody should have said,
Someone
I
should
kind of
have
know who
said-
that is.
yeah.
That's not a good
Yeah, I
thing.
think, yeah,
It's like one
it
or
probably,
two more lines.
It
yeah.
probably would have played a bit better if like, if like the who is Zool, and then like someone like maybe Kristen Wiig is just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
have made it. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have made it so much fucking better. That would have made it so much better if somebody had known who Zool was.
But-
They acknowledged who it was. They acknowledged how
then
powerful
again,
he was.
But then again, I mean, like, plain devil's advocate, I do kind of
There
like
is no Dana, only Zool.
I said devil's advocate.
And I said there is no Dana, only Zool.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So, but I mean, like, I do,
Continue.
I
I'm
do,
sorry,
so-
go ahead,
I
go
think,
ahead.
I do sort of like the, I kind of like the idea. It's like, we all know.
We all know who Zool is.
Yeah.
It's like, I think like just imagine like watching a scene in in 1935, and then you ask someone to like 1935 in America, and someone asks like, oh, who's Hitler? I mean, it's kind
I
kind
know what
of
you're
chilling.
saying, yeah.
It's kind of
it's after
chilling.
the fact, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
like, and it's
being
like
said-
just the fact that it's
see,
like the
not-
hindsight's 2020,
Well,
and
not having
Yeah.
having them not have another reaction is them not having confidence that this movie's going to go on to lead a trilogy. They just kind of threw it out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
In my rewrite, that'll be perfect.
Okay. All right. So do
Well,
we
you
want
gotta go first.
Do we want to
No,
go into the rewrites?
I always go last. No, we can do we
No,
can do spoilers.
you'll
and
go.
Good and bad
You'll
parts.
go.
I know.
Maybe not last,
I'm
but
done.
I'm not-
I'm done with my spoilers.
Okay. I don't have many spoilers except for it falls back and forth with me where the cameos seem to have been completely forced because we have we have the 5 major players from the first movie as cameos in this movie.
Harold Ramis is a bust.
Yeah, it's a bust.
He is literally
he
bust.
he had the best cameo
He is
because
a bust. Yeah.
he was just a bust and that was fine. But all the cameos aren't the characters. Bill Murray isn't. Nobody's a Ghostbuster. Nobody's anything. One's
Bill
a mentor.
Murray
One's a
had
cab
the
driver.
most character in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it turns me nothing. And
Yeah.
and spoiler alerts, I'm going to address Bill Murray's thing in my
that's fine,
rewrite.
yeah.
But yeah, he had nothing to contribute.
Yeah,
in this
it
whole
was,
thing.
It didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
But
they brought
his
him in,
was
and then
still the best.
And then they
he
killed
was
him.
still the best out of
his
all
was-
of them.
His was the longest. I like Dan Aykroyd.
Dan
the best
Aykroyd was
because
terrible. What are you
I
talking
liked
about?
it because Dan Aykroyd is fucking crazy, and he was a perfect crazy cab driver.
But he somehow, okay, first of all, white cab driver in New York City, cab driver in New York City never fucking happened. You will never see that. If you see a white cab driver
All
in New
my
York
cab
City,
drivers in New
you
York
need to
City were
fucking
white.
acknowledge the fact that that's fucking strange.
Wait, it
Okay,
wasn't.
we'll have
Yeah,
this
okay.
conversation later. Born and raised in Brooklyn, right here. We can have this conversation
Okay,
later.
And 20 years ago was when I was in New York City. All my cab drivers were white.
Okay, and
It's not an argument. It's
In
cool. It's a difference of
2016,
experience. It's fine.
yeah, okay, but yeah, that's absolutely fine. And I accept he's not he's not his character. So here's the thing: why does Dan Aykroyd know what a? He actually says, well, it's only a level 5 Ghost Spectre that we have right now. Why would he know that? Why would he fucking know the level of
Because
Ghost?
it's a forced cameo to get the actors in there without them being their
Well,
characters.
give him a better fucking cameo then.
And it's more of those like I said, a lot of forced callbacks where you're like, we didn't need this.
Yeah.
We understand your
If
your
only
movies to make
someone
money,
had
yeah.
come up with a better cameo
Yeah.
for Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, no,
oh,
we're-
wait a second.
We're
I
all-
have that.
We're all going to do that.
All right.
And side note for listeners, Adam has his laptop and has notes for his rewrite of the movie.
Okay, everybody here has their own laptop, and they all have their own notes for the movie. I'm not the only one.
No, it's okay, but you're the only one that brought him, and that's just fine. It's just fine. I'm saying I think Adam is going to win with the rewrite of the movie,
Probably not. Okay, you know what?
but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Is there anything more that we want to talk about in spoilers?
More that we want to talk about.
Specific good and bad, because that's what spoilers are for.
Specific good and bad. Cecily Strong, you are amazing. You are amazing in this movie.
Cecily Strong?
Cecily Strong.
Who is she?
She played the mayor's assistant. She is also.
Okay, she's really cute.
She is also. Yeah, she was also on Saturday Night Live.
She was good. She was like, I got to do this shit, but I didn't agree with it. That's how it is.
She is both incredibly beautiful, sexy woman, and oh my god, she's really fucking funny, really fucking intelligent. That's the whole thing about this movie. It's like all the little cameos were fucking amazing. The cast of this movie was incredible. Every single person I was so glad to see. Oh my god, you're in a major motion picture. That's fucking awesome.
All the parts of this movie are really, really good.
Absolutely.
It all falls down around the script and the directing.
The script and the director.
This
Paul motherfucking Feig. That is the problem with this movie.
This movie
is Paul
couldn't-
Feig. It
this
all
movie-
comes down to Paul Feig being I don't even want to say he's a douche asshole.
No.
He
This
just
movie.
he did not do as good of a job directing this movie as he should have. That's
This movie is unfortunately the modern definition of a reboot to make money, with the irony of having all the proper pieces in place to make another version of this movie.
A remake is essentially like you're doing the same story, a lot of the same shots. The reboot.
Wait, no, it's all on. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's all part of it. We're throwing out definitions.
This wasn't off my conversation we were having.
No, we're in the middle of it. So a reboot.
What is the definition? What is the difference between a reboot and a remake? That is what we are discussing right now.
Essentially, it's a soft definition, but a reboot is more. We're gonna do something new with this product.
So yeah, a reboot is the new Star Trek. The last Star Trek that got made.
A remake is we're going to tell the same story.
A remake is the last RoboCop.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me out.
Okay.
I mean, like the definition can be a bit fuzzy.
So with those two things, a reboot is the new Star Trek. We have a lot of elements of the original, but we're taking it in a new direction, a new interpretation.
But that's also the same thing with RoboCop.
No, RoboCop was a remake because it was the movie starting from the beginning of the story. Was no thing. This movie falls.
Okay.
This movie falls somewhere kind of in between, where it's a soft reboot because they're calling back to the original, but they want to establish their own universe independent of the original. Mm-hmm. RoboCop was just a straight one and done.
Okay.
They weren't going for an entire universe. They were like, RoboCop was a really good movie. We can bank on that. Let's make it again to make a whole bunch more money.
Last
but
House
we're
on
not
the
going
Left. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Those are remakes.
Remakes.
Batman Begins.
That is a reboot.
Is the quintessential.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay,
Batman Begins is a reboot because it's the same thing. It has elements of it, but we're continuing the story.
Completely different story. Completely different three-act structure.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you guys.
And also as far as I think,
and I hope you learned at home something new too.
Also, there's there's also the term reimagining, and with reimagining, that exists if there's a difference if it's a different adaptation from the same source material.
Yeah, you have an original source material that you're playing with. Yeah.
Like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, that's reimagining.
Yeah, that's a reimagining.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to go into the rewrites?
Are we ready for rewrites, or we want to talk about good points and bad points completely
I don't have
inside the spoilers?
I think we're kind of done here.
Okay.
Pause and then. Yeah.
So that's the end of part 2 with spoilers. We ran down the movie as best we could. We're itching for the rewrites because that's literally what I'm getting to, and we will end part 2. And that's the end.
2, 1,
and we are back for the unique part of the Some Guy and John podcast tonight with Steven and Adam at the Imperial again.
Special shout out to Serena. We know you're listening.
Okay, thank you, Serena. We have one person we know is listening. Fantastic. So, Steven's going to go first with the rewrite.
Okay,
and this is what we hope is the better version of the movie.
Yes.
All right. So the first thing I would change, and I'll just go out and say, with a comedy, the plot isn't quite as important, but basically what I would change is that the whole story about Kristen Wiig and the ghost that she saw of the old lady for that like made her all into ghost. I would have the old lady be the grandmother of the villain, and they were part of a cult.
So some kind of connection.
Yeah, and so
some kind of connection, some kind of destiny thing.
Yeah, and so and so it's like the villain was kind of jealous of Kristen Wiig for the fact that God damn it, the ghost of my beloved grandmother
didn't come and see me.
And then Kristen Wiig on the other hand is like sort of like that. Well, fuck that. She was just like messing around with me. It was awful. But that's like sort of that drama. You have that drama there, and so I think I would probably change Kristen Wiig's character. Kristen Wiig's character would pretty much be the same, but I think Melissa McCarthy would play more up the fact that she's like sort of a loyal dog and very much kind of hurt about being abandoned.
Christian Wiig's or
Melissa McCarthy?
Melissa fucked me over. Yeah. Okay.
Or not really like the fuck you, but like she was like sort of like genuinely hurt about it.
Okay.
And it's like and like very sort of like very sort of matter, and like I think I would probably have her like being a bit more on like the person who's on the paranormal type shows rather than be like, oh, these yahoos. And like as I touched upon, the Kate McKenna character would be like I'd try to play up more the glee of like having like look at this cool thing that I got, and like that would, I mean, like that would make her a lot more fun. And I think and the Leslie Jones character, I think I would probably make her, instead of a blue-collar worker, I would make her a tour guide.
Yeah, I liked how you said she should have been a tour guide.
That makes sense.
Much.
She's a tour guide.
She's like a hardcore tour guide where she knows more than what she needs to know for doing her job.
And then so pretty much the whole the plot of the story I would have, which the movie sort of had, but I would really play up the fact of the mayor making crazier and crazier excuses for all the crazy stuff. So like, all right, and I have that, and here's the final battle that I have.
Okay.
And so there's the idea of possession.
Okay.
Which it would be this whole fight where the bad guy is they're trying to catch the bad guy, like maybe not using the lasers, but like
because he keeps possessing different people.
They have like a depossessor machine, but like they're trying to possess him and capture him while he's switching between bodies.
They can pull him out, but they can't catch him. So he keeps
like,
jumping.
He keeps jumping between the different bodies.
Does he jump through the Ghostbusters?
No, he jumped from the various Ghostbusters. So there's like it's like there's plenty of comedic moments where it's just like, I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I'm not being possessed. Like, no, he's got that guy, and then it's going to reach the final moment where he's in control, and then like in comes Chris Hemsworth, who's like trying to help, and then he possesses Chris Hemsworth and knocks everyone out. It's like, I'm in control now, and I shall read the spell that will do it, but Chris Hemsworth, he's nearsighted. He's nearsighted, and his glasses. So
he can't physically read the spell. Yeah,
he can't read the spell, and then
he has to jump out.
And then
they catch him.
And then that sort of like messes everything up. So like, it's like he eventually like, and then that buys them the time. So then they all go in limbo, and so it's like. They figure out the way to catch him is like when they're all in limbo, he can't possess anyone because like it's just the souls.
So everybody's on equal footing.
Yeah, everyone's on. Yeah, it's like and it's like and like I think maybe what I do, like, since like they're in limbo, and like with me, like the fantasy logic side is like, all right, you're in limbo, you just physically beat the shit out of him. He's outnumbered.
So he's outnumbered. He's physically outnumbered, so he can't overpower them.
And
he can't possess them. No,
and then
that's really good.
And then the mayor, it's like they kind of did that, but I'd play it up even more with the mayor or like the mayor would just be like, how do you explain all this and this and this and this? Yeah. And then it's just the mayor's just like, I resign.
The mayor's like, there's more important things to talk about than this trivial thing that's going on.
Yeah, and then I think maybe like with the end of the stinger scene with like the who is Zool, I think I do the thing where just like either Christian Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, they look at each other and they're like, oh
yeah,
shit.
Someone has to know who's Zool.
Yeah.
Nice,
or
because you need a reaction to the question.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
I'm not sure, but that's my rewrite.
Nice. Oh, here comes the Notebook, and it's on.
The Notebook.
It's on.
Oh yeah. This is still going to be completely improvised.
No, that's the point. It's freeform. We're drinking and drunk, and it's freeform.
All right, so.
No, and here's the thing, and the beauty about the podcast. Nothing's at stake for us because we're gonna all go back to doing what we're doing. This is for fun.
Okay.
This is 100% hobby.
Everything, pretty much, honestly, like the intro to the movie was fine. The only problem, really, that I had with it was when they were building up to a big ghost scare, and you could tell the music started going up, and at any second this ghost was going to scare this person, and then they just cut away to another scene. No, fuck that shit. You stay there in the scene. You have that character see the fucking ghost. You have to have the character see the ghost, have them react, have them scream, and then you go, bam, Ghostbusters.
Just like the original.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the fucking original. Let's face facts here. It's a reboot. We're remaking the fucking Ghostbusters. Like, there's some parts. Yeah, it's just. The same way with us, with the Hope Awakens. What was that?
The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. Yeah, they were just kind of. Yeah, they were just remaking Star Wars. I think it's kind of the same thing here. Okay. So Melissa McCarthy and
Christian Wiig or Kate McKenna. See, in respect for the actresses, I've managed in the course of our conversation to know all their names. So, you tell me. So
good for you.
So who is it? I've arbitrarily decided it's best to refer to the people as the actresses.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like that. That's how it's like if Brad Pitt is in a movie, no one
refers to his character. They refer to Brad Pitt.
Unless it's like if it's a super distinct character.
Yeah.
Maybe
he
like
played Death. He played the character of Death, and yet still we all think of him as being Brad Pitt.
Like in Inglourious Bastards, he's Lieutenant Aldo Ray.
Yeah, I don't see.
Like even then, he's kind of still.
What
Brad
I'm
Pitt.
saying is, I would rather fall on the actress, and let's just take a step back because of all the bullshit around this movie. I'd rather fall on the performer's name than the character's name.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're on Adam's rewrite. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. First of all, there are way too many Patrick Swayze references in this movie. They make one Patrick Swayze ghost joke in it, and it was funny. Then they make several more, and yeah, that's kind of the problem. Is they find one funny joke and then they do it, but then they keep doing it.
Well, that's the improv and the line-orama thing that you
Yeah,
guys talked about.
The improv and the fucking line-orama.
They keep going on this.
It kills this movie. Yeah, Paul Feig. You love the line-orama, you love all that stuff, but guess what? You need to have a tighter fucking script. This is still a goddamn science fiction, well, Ghostbusters, yeah, that's one of the...
Ghostbusters is a science fiction movie with comedy.
It's unique because it's both science fiction and fantasy and comedy
and it
all together.
And some genuinely creepy and kind of scary scenes.
Yeah.
Like
there are... okay, let me just say this. One of my key moments from my childhood was how fucking scared I was. Ghostbusters 2, when... Okay, you know the scene I'm talking about, right? When
I've only seen Ghostbusters 2
the
in bits
nanny
and pieces.
comes to collect Oscar, the ghost nanny, comes to, and collects now. Oh my god, that scene still haunts me to my fucking day. How goddamn scary that scene is.
Yeah, I remember being really scared of the library scene.
Yeah,
and also the whole the stuff with Zool.
Yeah,
where it's when Sigourney Weaver's all alone and it's she's grabbed by these dogs.
Well, it's like the best horror movies remind you of how scary being alone can be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's something that both the original the original two, even though the second one's kind of a repeat of the first, they did that in a really good way. Yeah. So back on target, stay on target, back to Adam.
Stay on target, back on target, back to
Adam's version of the new Ghostbusters.
Adam's version of the new Ghostbusters. Oh yeah, so Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig are